Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's get back to Vietnam. A report recently came out talking about the potential of the economy over there in Vietnam. And as usual, it's positive, which is what we want to see. And keep in mind that Vietnam is way further along than Iraq is. The problem is they keep manipulating their currency on behest of the globalists. So I heard a report today, somebody laid it out really nicely, that they felt like this globalist agenda was falling apart. Let's hope that they're right. The fact that Vietnam's currency is so devalued is why globalists are over there big time. Vietnam was the benefactor of the trade war between Trump and China, and they have been excelling ever since. But the truth of the matter is they've been manipulating their currency for a long time. And globalists everywhere are taking advantage of this. Will it ever change? As long as we keep globalizing things, it's not going to change. We know it's illegal, but nobody's going to ever do anything about it. Or will they? So let's get into this. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link will be down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code PIMPYSILVER. Yes, it has changed. PIMPYSILVER. So if you're watching this video and it's an older video, make sure you check on current videos because the code is going to be changing from time to time from now on. Also, I can be found on other platforms. Everybody knows I have my own website, Pimpy's News Network. Over here, I post videos that I can't get away with over on YouTube. Also, I have a group on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. Come on over here and join us. It's free to do so. You can also come follow me on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and Odyssey. The links for all these platforms will be down below in the description. So for whatever reason, if I get removed off of one platform, you could find me on the others. So as I was stating, this is the article I'm talking about. You know, it's from February the 4th. I like it because it does talk about the Vietnam's economy. And I've been saying for now a couple years that Vietnam is doing phenomenal. Prospects of Vietnam's economic growth in 2023. So what are the prospects? So the ongoing war with Ukraine and increasing commodity prices across the world have impacted the developing countries. Countries in Asia, which were recovering from the RONA impact on their economies, have to rework their recovery process by looking for alternative supply chains and reducing their financial responsibilities towards social sectors through budgetary management. Among the developing economies in Asia, Vietnam showed an economic growth of nearly 3%, even when many of the countries were witnessing recession and reduced production because of adverse impact on the RONA. Yeah, I mean, I spoke about that for 2 years, that the one country that's kicking butt is Vietnam. The bigger question from everybody else is, okay, fine, but when are they going to change their currency exchange rate? The stimulus packages that the governments across the world have to give to the manufacturing sector to accelerate production and meet the demands of the people. In a report released by the World Bank in August last year, it was stated that the Vietnamese economy is likely to grow by nearly 7.2% in 2023, and it is going to sustain itself in 2024 with a likely growth projection of 6.7%. These are encouraging signs. Few of the sectors which might be accelerating in growth process would be the field of footwear and electronics. Vietnam itself has been undertaking strong anti-corruption measures so as to facilitate stronger economic fundamentals and the recovery from the RONA. Man, just like Iraq, if Vietnam and Iraq can clear somehow their government of the corruption, then we would see things on a much more level playing field. Which means if they were doing the right thing, they would be increasing their exchange rate. The economic growth of Vietnam has been accelerating, and the agriculture sector has been productive in ensuring food security for Vietnamese citizens, which all countries should be doing at the present moment. As per one of the estimates, this sector contributed more than 14% in national gross domestic product and has engaged more than 35% of youth in the year 2020, which is the same thing like Iraq. Iraq has a lot of people within a certain age frame that they need to really build themselves up. The sector also earned valuable foreign exchange of more than 48 billion US dollars. Yikes! One of the interesting achievements of Vietnam has been increasing life expectancy and its universal health coverage, which covers more than 87% of the population. As for the plan of action, which has vestige for Vietnam's economy by its leadership as it aspires to become a high-income country by the year 2045. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if I can wait to the year 2045 before the Vietnam dong increases in value. If they're expecting the currency to be very valuable by 2045, you can bet that they're going to start increasing the currency over time, just like they are doing over there in Iraq. Especially if people start abandoning the US dollar as the reserve dollar. It is expected that with sound economic fundamentals and more than 5.5 annual average per capita growth for the next 2.5 decades, it can reach that milestone. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of growth you want to see consistently. Vietnamese population is also young, and it is adapting itself for digital economy and building core fundamentals for its membership in different regional economic organizations, such as the RCEP and the CPTPP, and the ABC and the 123, okay? The bilateral free trade agreement with the EU is also facilitating its growth in several sectors. So see, Vietnam's doing it right. This is what Iraq needs to do. Start building up these different sectors within Iraq. So there has been significant structure improvements ushered through policy documents in terms of improving financial architecture, accepting global norms related to climate and environment, comprehensive security for population against poverty, and extensive investment in infrastructure development both in rural and urban areas. Dear Iraq, pay attention to what Vietnam is doing. In one of the articles written in Bloomberg, it has acknowledged that Vietnam is now one of Asia's fastest growing economies, which has grown to 8.02% last year, and it even surpassed government assessment of 6 and 6.5% growth. The article also acknowledges the fact that the manufacturing has been growing to near 10% of mark in comparison to last year, and there is strong development in the service sector as well. Among the economies, Vietnam's inward foreign direct investment has also been doing quite well, and it has received nearly $27.72 billion last year. Of course, there's a lot of globalists moving their manufacturing over to Vietnam, especially since they have no idea what's going to happen with China. Also, the unemployment rate has reduced, and with inflation clearly under 5%, showcases that the long-term decisions which we have taken with the initiation of Doi Moi economic liberalization process in 1986 has been bearing fruits. Well, 1986 till now, it better bear some kind of fruits because it's been a long time. In terms of sectoral assessment, the real estate as well as construction sector, the growth of about 7.78% last year, and the service sector growth was closer to 10%. There has been an increase in exports last year, as well as an increase of 10.6% was noticed. One of the core arguments which has been given with regards to Vietnam's impressive growth has been related to the trade liberalization, increased deregulation, and improvement in the ease of doing business. Investment in human resources and stable government were seen as critical attributes for the impressive growth in Vietnam. And this is why I feel in the not too far future, we're going to start seeing an increase in the Vietnam dong. Because the fact that they've opened up their borders to outside investments, and you can see here they liberalized their trade, which in the past are a very closed circuit. If they're going to do that, that opens their door for world trade, which should really stimulate the economy in Vietnam. Major companies in footwear, electronics, and mobile production have invested in Vietnamese economy, and few of the companies have shifted base from China to Vietnam. Improved congenital economic environment has been appreciated by companies such as Adidas, Nike, and Samsung, to list a few. So these are the companies I was talking about that left China and came over to Vietnam. Owing to the development of a new kind of digital technologies and better consumer awareness, Vietnam is preparing itself for a major impetus in the e-commerce sector, and therefore has been making extensive changes in digital-based economy and more stress on science and technology development. So if they're opening themselves up to the world, they can start doing more business. Vietnam has acknowledged the fact that with changes in sectoral composition of the economy, it is pertinent to develop necessary skills, powers, and human resources which can seamlessly integrate Vietnam into the global value chains and also help the service sector in exploring new markets. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to Vietnam. Man, if you ever wanted to invest into the stock market, Vietnam seems like the place to be. There are a lot of companies who are accelerating and have been for some time. As far as the Vietnam dong is concerned, it's kind of hard to call sometimes. I do think they're going to go up just like Iraq in increments, especially with the crash of the US dollar is being anticipated. And the fact that a lot of companies have moved over to Vietnam as their production locations for many of these corporations. Anyways, you let me know what you think down below. I look forward to your comments, and I'll get back at you later. I'm out.